Yeah, I want to get 2 cheeseburgers with extra pickles, some fries. Yeah, pickles. No, no pickles. Extra pickles. Pickle. Freaking pickles! Ugh. In 1982, Data East Corp unveiled BurgerTime to North American arcades, amidst other highly popular games such as Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. Data East used the Deco cassette system for its arcades, Deco being an abbreviation for Data East Corp, that were similar to audio tapes, which could be interchanged amongst arcade cabinets, allowing vendors to swap out old games for new ones without having to replace the cabinet itself. Unfortunately, just like audio cassettes, the Deco tapes wore out quickly and were abandoned altogether by 1985. BurgerTime was one of these Deco arcade machines, which was called Hamburger back in Japan, before undergoing a name change to the Americanized BurgerTime. The game abandoned the Deco cassette system shortly after its release, licensing the newer cabinets to Bally Midway. BurgerTime cast you as Chef Peter Pepper, whose main goal was to construct enormous hamburgers on an oversized platform while avoiding man-sized rogue fatty foods such as Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Egg, and Mr. Pickle. These tasty baddies chase Peter around while he walks across gigantic hamburger ingredients. Walking across these enormous burger pieces will drop them down one level, and each ingredient it lands upon will also drop a level, having a domino effect, collecting at the bottom on a plate. Once all of the hamburgers have been constructed, the stage is completed. Now, Peter is not defenseless on his burger-making adventure. He is equipped with limited pepper shakers, which when used, will temporarily stun enemies, allowing the chef the opportunity for escape, or in some cases, to go on the offensive. Peter can use the hamburger ingredients to squash the bad guys from above, pinning any enemies that happen to be under the enormous burger, which removes them from the board for a short amount of time. You can also use your buns, patties, etc. to drop your food foes down 2 levels as opposed to 1, which is an integral part of Peter's success. More than one foe dropped results in free-falling burgers and high scores. Disposing of these fast food freaks will often reward you with ice cream cones, cups of coffee, and french fries, which then awards you with an additional pepper shaker to use at your disposal. BurgerTime was immensely popular in the arcades, and it wasn't long before the fast food-themed game found its way into our homes via the Atari 2600 and the Intellivision, which happened to be the system's best seller. BurgerTime found itself ported to several other machines as well, such as the ColecoVision, which is the version I grew up with. At the time, it was the closest version to the arcade, and I fell in love with it, playing the game for hours on end. Once the Nintendo Entertainment System dethroned every other home system on the planet, BurgerTime found itself on there as well, developed directly by Data East, and boasted the closest home port of the arcade to date. You could even argue that the NES version had superior graphics and sound to the arcade version. Let's compare the two. While I pretty much enjoy both versions equally, I tend to lean more towards the NES version, as I prefer to use the directional pad over a joystick to control Peter Pepper, although both versions suffer from horrendous controls. Getting caught on a ladder rung is not uncommon, often resulting in an ironic death.
Ever see a sandwich that could take a bite out of you?
Oftentimes, if you fall victim to such a hiccup, you can pretty much kiss your ass goodbye. While both versions are guilty of this flaw, the NES rendition tends to be a bit more challenging in my opinion. While many gamers who never grew up with BurgerTime or other early 80s classic arcade games may find this annoyance unforgivable and frustrating, I can accept it for what it is, an inevitable staple of classic arcade gaming. Oh, who am I kidding? I find it aggravating as hell too. Either way, BurgerTime can be a fun and addictive ride and will always be one of my favorite old school arcade games. In 1984, a sequel to BurgerTime was released, also as a Deco cassette game titled Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory. This game is so difficult, it's nearly unplayable. It's fucking trash. Yes, it's so terrible it actually warrants profanity. You must roll scoops of ice cream into empty cones while dodging an assortment of sweet-tooth baddies that are incredibly fast. Cheap Death is the name of this game, as you can fall off platforms trying to jump over enemies, and getting pinned to death by donuts and strawberries is a living nightmare, even for us sugar junkies. What the hell does this game have to do with burgers anyway? This game flopped hard, and it's no wonder why. Now that I captured footage for this video, I can rejoice knowing I'll never have to subject myself to this torture ever again. In 1990, Super BurgerTime was released to limited arcades. So limited that most people don't even know that it existed. I don't remember ever seeing it at Aladdin's Castle, the local arcade that I used to frequent. This sequel offers 2-player simultaneous play, and the ingredients this time don't have to be completely walked across, they can simply be jumped upon. The game offers some new enemies such as pea pods and even includes boss fights. Unfortunately, this game to my knowledge has never been ported to a home console, but from the information that I dug up about it online, it seems that we didn't miss out on much. Thankfully, Data East redeemed themselves with 1991's BurgerTime Deluxe on the Nintendo Game Boy. Deluxe takes what made the original so much fun and improved on it. Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Pickle, and Mr. Egg all reprise their roles in chasing down Chef Frank Furter. Clever, huh? Replacing Peter Pepper, who takes a sabbatical here. This addictively fun Game Boy sequel offers 24 levels with tight, responsive controls, along with several new power-ups such as invincibility, in addition to BurgerTime's standard pepper shaker, and also provides a password feature once all 4 stages of each of the 6 worlds have been completed. This game is much easier than the original BurgerTime, and more fun too. It's amazing how good a game can be with responsive controls. I definitely recommend this one. Which leads us to the most recent installment, BurgerTime World Tour. Released in 2011 for the Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360, World Tour offers a whole slew of rebooted stages. 40 in fact. Once again, Peter Pepper starts in this fast food fracas, but this time in a 3D world with rotating stages, peppered with heartburn-inducing fast food foes. The premise is the same as before. Construct oversized burgers before the food baddies consume you. Thankfully, Peter can jump this time around and also has additional weapons at his disposal, such as a spatula and rockets, which quickly boost the chef to higher levels, and of course, the standard pepper shaker. This game rewards you and offers replay value by ranking your feats at the end of each stage. This is done using stars, with 5 being perfect. The difference in ranking usually is determined by how quickly you finish a stage, and also by collecting the letters in each level which spells out burger. Being a huge BurgerTime fan, I had fun with this one, although I'm not a fan of the graphic style. And the sound is nothing to get a stiffy over either. Not that BurgerTime is known for its exceptional aesthetics anyway. The game does have its fair share of problems though, such as the controls, which can take some getting used to. And it sometimes takes playing for a few minutes to also get used to the graphic style. You may find yourself running into enemies that you don't necessarily see until the very last second due to the rotating style of the stages. Once you've died enough times, you'll eventually become accustomed to keeping an eye out for what is about to rotate your way. But for the most part, World Tour retains what made the original so fun, by dropping ingredients on bad guys, which depending on which baddies get squashed within your burger, creates different flavors of burgers, resulting in extra points. The game is broken up into 4 different worlds with 10 stages each, and each world introduces a new food foe, such as Abba De Niro, Chaz, and Limburger. Not only do these rogue ingredients provide you with higher scores when including them in a completed burger, they even have to be used to damage certain bosses, such as this luchador who takes a ton of damage by consuming habanero peppered filled burgers. I found the boss fights creative, enjoyable, and challenging. Now I obviously see this game through onion ring rimmed glasses, and honestly don't think too many non-BurgerTime fans would enjoy this one a whole lot. It doesn't really matter anyway though, because the game was removed from digital stores across the board back in April 2014, as the publisher for the game, Monkey Paw, had its BurgerTime license expire. This is one of the things that I absolutely loathe about digital-only games.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Alright, so I just gotta say that I despise digital-only games. They can be removed at any time for any reason, and once they're gone forever. Now, if you purchase the game beforehand and for whatever reason your hard drive goes out, whatever, you need to re-download it, there's a good chance that you will never be able to recover that game, even though you spent your hard-earned money for it. That's just bullshit. So if I ever have the choice to get either the digital or physical copy of the game, you bet your ass I'm going to get the physical copy. Too many games out there have been delisted and are no longer available. Turtles in Time reshelled, Simpsons Arcade, BurgerTime World Tour. Now the good thing about a physical copy is there will always be a copy available, regardless if the game is out of print. There's always going to be someone willing to sell you a copy. Now you may have to pay a pretty penny to obtain it, but hey, you can still get the game in one way or another. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Down with digital-only games. Go physical. So for over 30 years, people have either been loving or hating on BurgerTime. For those of us who love nostalgia, there's no doubt that we'll lean towards stuffing our faces with this grease-splattered, artery-clogging quarter gobbler, while people who didn't play this one early on will pass on it, choosing a salad instead. But I've always felt that this franchise doesn't get enough love, while at the same time understanding why it's hated. Only in the 80s could someone dream up a game based completely on fast food, and for me, I think it's that type of 80s magic that can never be recaptured.